Alright, welcome back, gamers. I believe we're on Chapter 8 here. Everything's kind of blending together, but we just took down a really awesome boss in the last chapter, and we're going to be progressing through this area now that there's no more freezing mist. But we also got a new costume, I believe. Blue Sheep's Battle Apparel. I mean, come on, gamers. That is awesome. That's so cool. We also bought this mask from the vendor a little while back. We never wore it though, but maybe that'll go along with this. That looks kind of cool. And then of course we've got the Blue Sheep's mask as well, which that's really very cool. That looks awesome. But I've never really liked the look of wearing a mask. A little something on my face, I don't mind. So maybe we'll wear this for a little bit. No, you know what? Yeah, this is a cool look. We'll go with that. And then did I happen to get the weapon by chance? No, okay. Doesn't look like it, but you know, that's okay. What a cool outfit though. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is progress forward here and see what this kind of connects to.
Veronique fought until the bitter end. But even if we could have helped her, it was far too late.
Yeah.
At least her suffering is over. I hope she can be at peace and rest now.
Right. Oh. Okay. So we know what that is. This is definitely like so they're showing us that all this kind of stuff was here before the hotel had its opening. The hotel was basically built on top of all of this really, I mean, kind of strange stuff here. And it looks like, well, we'll take a look at this. The way that the light is hitting this makes it look like you can kind of interact with it, but I don't think that you can. So is it just this little, we'll go up this elevator here in a second. I just want to come back here and appreciate this little section, just in case this is like, we're just kind of getting a glimpse and we're not going to spend much time here. It's possible that we'll come back here. Like that looks like you can kind of interact with it and there's a ladder, but maybe they're showing this just ahead of time. But if you're unfamiliar, or again if you just need like a refresher, we take that sort of submarine to the Isle of Alchemists in the base game. And so it's interesting that that submarine is there right now, because it alludes to the fact that it was like almost like everything was built around the fact that there was like this submarine bay here and this laboratory and all these other sort of things that are kind of built under this hotel. And the hotel in a lot of ways is like this focal point. It's kind of, the hotel is kind of like the heart of the city, which I think is kind of interesting because like a lot of the game is about, you know, P's heart and having like a, like his heart is different and it's more human-like and things like that. And so like the idea that the hotel is like the heart, like everything spreads out through the heart, kind of like I think they're called the capillaries, like basically all the little networks that connect to the heart that send blood out to the different areas of our bodies. There are all these different networks that connect to the hotel and the inner workings of the hotel, and so it's really kind of cool to see like that there's even more to it, because it was kind of fleshed out a little bit in the base game, but it's even more so here, like just in the sense that you have all of these different avenues that the hotel leads out into. Okay. Friend or foe? Wait. Alidoro?
I suppose I should expect to meet strange people in such a strange place. I smell blood on you. But, interesting. It's the blood of alchemists. Still, that doesn't prove we aren't enemies.
Right. But I
Let me
think...
get this straight. Quite by accident, you found an object belonging to the legendary stalker at the zoo. If all that is true, can you show me this object?
Yeah.
This is a photo of Leia and her two apprentices. This locket does belong to her.
Okay.
I'll take you at your word that you wish to help Leia. I'll trust you. For the moment. My name is mine to hold. But you
Yeah.
have my word that I am not your enemy, nor Leia's. I consider any enemy of the alchemists an ally. Stay and rest a while.
Oh, okay. We can ask so many things. I'm just going to take a minute to just kind of appreciate this moment, because I thought that the story being told with Alidoro in the base game was really cool. And it's one of those little things where it's like, I appreciate when you're given breadcrumbs so that you can kind of piece together a mystery yourself, and then you get the confirmation, afterwards to just kind of affirm that theory. And so that was one of those cool things in the base game. But I'm really liking his character so far. He's like very kind of stoic. He's seems very serious, matter of fact. And he sounds like somebody who would be, a hero, somebody
I'm
who would save
tracking
people.
a dangerous relic the alchemists freed from the ruins. A calamity that is wreaking torment upon Krat. But the immense power of that relic wasn't enough to satisfy the alchemists. They also retrieved the remains of the ancient warrior that was protecting it, and conducted vile experiments on their finds. These experiments have yielded results already, transforming one test subject into a living weapon. I must stop this monster before they unleash it upon the city. If you plan to continue exploring this facility, take this horn. Blow it if you find the two-faced overseer.
Awesome.
No matter where you are in this facility, I'll hear it and come to your aid.
Okay. That's super cool.
I'm just someone fighting against the alchemists. I have my reasons, but I must hide my identity to protect the person most dear to me. I can't rest until I finish investigating the alchemists. If you're open to it, I would like to ask for your assistance.
Okay.
Legendary. Leia probably hates that title. She stepped up only because no one else could. Too many stalkers were lost to that evil, murderous puppet. But a great title such as that comes with many risks. And now, Romeo is in danger. Leia is desperate to find any news of him. It must be even worse for her since she has lost an apprentice once before. Would you
Right.
like to ask me anything more?
Yeah.
Trouble erupted at the zoo, and Romeo went to deal with it alone. Leia and Romeo had their own brand of justice.
Okay.
I wouldn't call them vigilantes, but they did their best. Regardless, Romeo could handle himself. Nothing should have troubled him on this mission. But he went missing.
Okay.
It's possible that this is some old grudge coming back to stab Leia in the back. Being the legendary stalker does make you a constant target to resentful enemies. Leia maintains several places along the coast that she uses as base camps.
Okay.
I'd seek her out in that area.
Got it.
Take a look at this. This tree. What could it possibly be? It looks almost human-like. I dare not imagine what plans they have for it. But I'm certain this tree bears significance.
I've never... Huh.
The Rose Estate, you say? I have heard whispers, mere rumors really, that an underground tram runs to the estate.
Okay.
If true, the tram should be at the end of this very facility.
Okay.
If you find the Overseer, be sure to blow the horn. No matter where you are in this facility, I will come find you.
Okay. So, it's a usable item. Okay. So what we're gonna do, I think, is equip that here. Because this is just our lantern. We haven't really needed to turn on our lantern. So I'll equip that there, and I'll try to remember that's where it's at. Oh, sorry, pal. I didn't mean to bump into you. Okay, really cool observation he made there, that this tree looks very human-like, because it certainly does. Like, it has arms. One is like across its chest, one's reaching out, and then it looks like it has hair coming down from its head. And so that makes me wonder if the gold coin tree that's on top of the hotel is similar in any way, or if this one is different and like special and unique. But this is a really cool area. And again, so this is like interconnected kind of under the hotel itself. And then this whole idea of blowing this horn. An old letter coated in a thick layer of dust. Do not forget the importance of the listeners. This recent situation is the regrettable consequence. I have repeatedly emphasized the value of these special individuals. They must always be approached with great care. Now, this recent series of accidents has robbed us of a listener candidate. This is a significant loss. I acknowledge that managing the specific candidate was difficult due to the subject's position and the high amount of interest in her. However, this accident resulted in her death, the mysterious death of a family member of the head of the workshop union. However, this accident resulted in her death, the mysterious death of a family member of the head of the workshop union. This is something that even the order does not condone. Okay. Do not forget that exhaustive measures and even terminations had to be carried out to cover up her death and our complicity. The members who planned this misguided experiment will be dealt with. They were not authorized to attempt to create linkages between listeners and the Great One's relics. If a similar incident occurs in the future, the Order will not hesitate to punish those responsible. You can never be too careful when approaching a listener. Ensure you proceed with the utmost caution. Okay, so it's warning us of these listeners, but it's also saying that I acknowledge that managing this specific candidate, who was a listener candidate, okay, was difficult due to the subject's position and the high amount of interest in her. However, this accident resulted in her death, the mysterious death of a family member of the head of the workshop union. So this is talking about Camille, which was what we're trying to piece together. We think was Geppetto's wife, possibly. Could be daughter, but I think more so wife. And they said that it was basically like an accident that happened and everybody died. And they're saying that this is basically that they're covering up her death and the fact that they had anything to do with it. But so that also implies that this, that Camille was a listener candidate, whatever that might be. And it said we need to be careful when we get close to listeners. I don't want to disorient myself here, so I'm pretty sure I came from this door and into this room. So I can go down and I can go this way. I do still want to backtrack to part of the facility that we were in that no longer has snow happening in it. So this is perfect because we've got a stargazer here, and it looks like this is probably going to be a... Oh. Okay. Well, we'll check that out in a second. Okay. So where are we currently? We're in the Elixir Research Zone. I kind of want to come back here really quickly before moving forward and checking out. There's like 2 areas where the cold air has lifted. And I think there's going to be also a door that we can open with a key, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go up here first, because I'm pretty sure this is where the Black Rabbit door is at. Yeah. So we have a Black Rabbit key. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. Little hideout. The Eldest's gas mask and the Black Death's protective apparel. So let's take a look at this one. Okay. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I do like that. Dark colors, a lot of leather. Pretty cool. I'm going to stick with this one though, because I really like this fur and the armor combination. And then the helmet that we just got. This one with the noose around its neck. Very cool. Very gruesome. I really liked the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. I thought they were very cool characters. Okay. And there's also a family photo. That's cool. Okay. So that's here. We can also go down that ladder now. We had already dropped down there and grabbed a couple of little items that were down here. But there's a door here that was frozen shut before. Okay, so these guys just got frozen in here. What do we got? Legion Caliber, okay. So Legion Calibers can upgrade your Legion arms, and so it's nice that they're continuing to give those to the player. Still would like to see another Genius Legion plug so that we can create the next, the Icarus arm. Okay, is it just that? No. Well. That's very interesting. I don't know if I've seen this before. I was just talking about the butterflies, I think, in the last chapter. We had the purple butterfly that was teleporting, but that one was very cool. It was new. It like split into 3. How awesome. And we got another ancient disc that we can turn into Klaus if we want to. I don't really remember what else was there other than some ergo chunks, so we won't go out of our way to do that just yet. Okay, basically shoots a freeze bullet at us. You know what? Just for the sake of fun, I think I'm gonna go back to these claws. Because these were a really cool weapon I like. Yeah, see? What an awesome fatal attack. Oh, yikes. I like these character designs. Hey, like, very cool variation on what we had in the base game. Like, I don't mind if they kind of reuse different enemy types, especially if they put like a, you know, a fun variation on it like that. Like, these guys have different masks, different weapons, so I think that's really cool. Smart way to reuse some of these enemies, and it makes sense. Like, these were the alchemists in the base game, so it makes sense that they're here. We've got a ladder, and we've got a way down even further. Like, this is such a cool... Oh, perfect. Shortcut. And a shot put. But this is a pretty extensive little, you know, side path that opened up for us. It looks like there's a kind of a big guy in this room here, so we'll check that out. I see why they gave us the shortcut. Nice. That was cool. Very lucky I had a fatal charge there. Oops. Oh, don't kill me. Don't kill me. He's just kicking my butt. No pulse cells. Yeah. Yeah, we're done. Don't die. Lucky with that pulse cell. Awesome. 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 Well, I'm glad that we didn't die, because that would have felt bad. But that was a cool way to finish him off. I do like the bow. The bow's nice to have in your back pocket, you know. Oh, La Vendetta. Okay. Cruise ship disaster, 13 souls lost. 13 noteworthy figures in Krat are believed dead after a cruise ship capsized last night. Officials informed us it was part of an educational tour meant to give dignitaries a full view of Krat's history, culture, and philosophies. An immediate family member. Okay, so this is what they're saying. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. What I'm piecing together here is that Camille was basically, she's connected to Geppetto. Okay, an immediate family member, it says. So, immediate family member. It makes me not think that it's so much his wife. I mean, I feel like it could still be his wife. It could also be daughter, sister, even. Either way, Camille was basically taken because she was a candidate to be a listener. She's taken, and they're testing on her here. It goes wrong. She dies and kills other people. Like, things just go bad. And then they use this cruise ship crashing as cover up for how she died. They said that she was on this cruise ship, the cruise ship went under, and everybody on it died. But that was fabricated. Attempts to contact the organizers of the fatal excursion have failed, and so far they appear to have disappeared without a trace. While the families of the victims seek answers, city officials have designated the next 2 weeks an official remembrance period. Publish without redaction, and make sure to keep that reporter out of the loop. So that's a little note. So that's very interesting. So they're kind of, all of this storytelling that's happening in the, the little logs that we pick up is all optional for us to engage with, but if we choose to, we can kind of start to piece together a little bit of what happened here, what was going on, and the different implications. So I'm interested in who Camille is exactly to Geppetto. Is she his wife? Was she a daughter or a sister? And like, was she like basically essentially like, was she kidnapped and brought here? Or, was she possibly here? She knew that she was, like, did she choose to come here? Sort of a thing. There's also this section here, which is just 2 doors, but they might be kind of lengthy. I do need to be careful because I don't have any pulse cells. Okay. So let's just remember, be careful. Oh, wait. Stargazer? Stargazer. Super cool. Okay. So that loops around to here. So this is where we were before I went on that little excursion to go back around. And then it seems like this is where we need to go. But we're going to hold off on that for a second because I don't want to forget that there was also a room connected here that went down. So let's make sure that we don't miss anything here. Okay. Just a chest. Klaus's luxury bag. Very cool. So we'll go ahead and take that back to Klaus at the hotel really quick before going forward, because he might have something useful for us. That's pretty cool. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. I like when I have clear direction where I can go. I like when I have little side adventures that I can go on that feel worthwhile. Really, really great experience so far. I've been enjoying this DLC playthrough a lot. It's all reasons that further excite me for whatever project they have coming next. Um, I'm very confident that they can continue to make amazing games, and I just hope that they stick to it.
Well met, Master Stalker. Are you well?
Yeah, I got something for you, buddy. Um, well, let's talk first. Let's see here. Oh, does he have something new to say?
Lamacchio. Oh, you just missed him. He left in a rush after receiving some documents.
Okay.
As the leader of the bastards, he is a busy fellow, you know.
Okay.
The legendary backbreaker, you mean? No, I've heard nothing about her. All I know is that she is far too rough on ordinary citizens when rescuing them. Please tell her that from me if you see her. Oh, my back still aches. How will I ever reach the Rose Estate in this condition?
He's kind of he's reminding me a little bit of the Knights of Katarina from the Dark Souls games. Sigurd and Sigmire. And because they're just like these big knights that are kind of lazy.
Oh my, you found my
and
bag.
I really
Thank you.
get some of that.
It may look ordinary on the outside, but
From
the
this.
inside is filled with treasure.
Yeah, I didn't go through it or
In
anything.
fact, I'm quite certain it contains items you may find particularly useful. As a reward, I would be glad to sell some to you. Huh?
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Well met, Master Stalker.
Okay, so trade ancient discs. We have how many? We have 2. We can get a veteran's eye patch, which is cool. We can get a plundering amulet, which charges Fable when a fatal attack is successful. Pretty solid. We can get a full moonstone. That's also very nice. That would let us upgrade a weapon to level 10. And then there's a record here. So I always get the records, and I think I'm going to go for this eye patch because I think that'll look pretty cool with what we've got going on. And now we know we can come back here and pick up a couple of other things if we get any more of these ancient discs. These quartz would be useful, and the moonstone here and stuff. So that's cool. I'm just going to double check that I can't do anything with rare ergo before we go. Cool. Let's throw on that eye patch. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, back to it. Let's see what's coming up next. Alright, we have to remember we have this horn we can blow to signal. What was he going by? The tracker. He's going by the tracker. He didn't tell us his name, so we'll call him the tracker, even though we know he's Alidoro. So we can signal him at any point throughout this facility. If we come across what was it called? Forget what, the observer or something. Okay, so I'm trying to also kind of think about things of like what they're doing here. So, and I think previously I didn't really piece together that the drug or like what they're using to test on these people is ergo, right? So the ergo, they're like pumping into people, testing on them. And That's what's causing them to change like this, I believe, is ergo. And so there's also, this guy's very cool. Again, like I was touching on the variation. Like, he's just a variant, but he was a very cool variant. He had a unique weapon in his offhand. He had a unique look to him, like he was like the scientist here. That was very cool. But so they're pumping ergo into people here, basically. And so one of the things that we noticed when we saluted at the end of last chapter, when we saluted the ram, Veronique, when we saluted Veronique as she died, it said that the ergo is whispering. So there's ergo in us. Likely that, like, the ergo was also powering the puppets, possibly. I'm sure that some of this might be like basic common stuff, but if you don't necessarily remember it, it's like, oh crap, I died. No, I was just over here yapping too much, I guess. Didn't realize that I hadn't healed in a minute. But that might be all like common. That might be exactly the story, is that the ergo is what brought the puppets to life, but that the ergo is kind of not stable. It's not necessarily a good thing. People were using it thinking that they could just kind of play God, but it wasn't necessarily, it didn't go the way that they had hoped. Okay, so this is a shortcut. So that's what that path is. Very cool. Appreciate shortcuts. Let's, you know what? These guys are kind of slow. I wonder how the bow goes against them. Yeah, there we go. I do like all of the arrows that stick out of them after you finish them. They're pretty cool. I didn't think I could hit him from here, but okay. Nice. The bow is pretty powerful because it doesn't have that ammo limitation. You can just shoot it. So that is kind of cool. But it is very strong in that sense. I don't think that freeze damages me. I think I just take increased damage and I don't have as much stamina probably, but I don't think that I'm taking damage because I'm frozen, so I'm not too worried about cleansing this right now. I mean, with the introduction of this bow, well, you still have to get to chapter 9, so I guess that doesn't track. I was gonna say it could make some encounters a lot easier for you, because you can kind of just sit back and attack. So like you could take this just into the base game even, and have a lot of success with it. Like you could do a whole bow playthrough, but you would have to get to chapter 9 and then access the DLC before you could do so. So it would be interesting. But New Game Plus though, you could do a New Game Plus playthrough with the bow and, play through the whole game. I'm sure that would be pretty fun. Limit yourself to just using the bow. Such a cool weapon. And I really like the animation designs. Okay. So, we're up above where we came into the room. which means that the shortcut's probably over that direction, if at all. There's a ladder coming up here. And then there's all kinds of stuff. So there's a part of me that's wondering if I should drop down there and see if that's like the shortcut. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But I don't know if I'm gonna die if I drop down from here. So maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I can drop onto that thing. Yes, haha. There we go. Got a nice little shortcut for us. I'm wondering
I
if...
think our test subject is behind that door.
Okay.
Where else could it be?
Okay.
Nerves of steel, buddy. Alright, now let's show this overseer who it's dealing with.
Okay. Cool. So that's where our overseer is at, and we can summon Alidoro to help us with that fight. So let's go back here. Let's clear out this little area, see what else is here. Then we'll wrap up this chapter, and we'll do next chapter with the fight of whatever's behind that door. This is so silly. This bow is very strong against the small enemies. It's not like super powerful per shot. I'm sure that it could be. I bet that you could probably make it a lot better. My build does not suit just regular damage. My build is more so for elemental damage. And so I'm sure you could get a much stronger version of the bow. And it probably could be powerful against bosses if you did. But either way, just having the ability to chip away at enemies like this from a distance is super useful. Because like this is a big room. You could easily get crushed trying to go through this area. There's guys above that might drop down on you. Looks like there's a guy up there I could see. Oops. He grabs, and he's not only dealing damage and freezing you, but he also drains some of your ergo. Like he steals some of your ergo that you have on you, which is gruesome. Okay, I think I'm gonna go up this ladder and try to pick off some of these guys that are above so that they don't drop down and ambush me. And we'll just try to keep systematically clearing out this room. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna heal just in case my health is low. And we're getting a lot of freeze. We're getting inflicted with freeze a lot, so I'm gonna make an educated guess that the enemy that we face next is gonna inflict freeze on us. And so we're going to want to have access to the item that cleanses you of the frozen status. Okay. Because we've had a lot of enemies that can inflict the freeze condition to us, so it just kind of makes sense that they would play off of that and incorporate it into the boss fight, because I don't think that we've had a boss deal freeze damage to us yet. Okay, so we've pretty much cleared out this area. And I don't think that I can hit this guy in that room with the bow very well. So I think I gotta drop down there and fight him. No, it's not super effective. I think what I'm gonna maybe try to do is run past him and get this chest. Okay. I don't know what that pocket watch does, but I'll take a look at it in a moment here. But I figured at the very least, let's grab that while the room is empty, in case this guy kills us. Because I don't really need to kill this guy. I'm sure he drops something good for us if we do. But it's also okay if we don't. Oh my goodness. Oh no, I broke my bow. I broke my bow. That's our sign to run. Alright. We can still take him with the claws. So let's do that. Funny that I didn't think about the durability of my bow. Oh jeez. Just heal twice, just in case. Yikes. No, I knew I was gonna die there. I just felt it. I tried to heal in the middle of that combo for no reason, and I just felt it. That's okay. I'm going to, I think, wrap up the chapter here, because that makes the most sense. We know that ahead of us we've got a boss fight to take on, so that'll be an exciting next chapter. I may come back and fight that guy who just killed us. Maybe I won't. We'll see. He would be the only enemy that we haven't killed yet, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe I'll do it off screen and just show you the clip of me finishing him off. We'll see how we handle it. But either way, really appreciate you for being here. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. That has been an awesome chapter. Really excited for what's next. We got a really cool boss that we get to check out, and we've got somebody who can help us, which will be exciting. Because anytime that the game gives you a companion like that to call into battle, you've got to see how cool it is. So that'll be awesome. I'll catch you next time. I have been and always will be Coobs. Peace and love to you gamers.